Bros! Sugar Punch here. Welcome to the channel in yet another video. And as you can tell from the title, this one is about the sugar diet and why you may be stalled and why you should think about giving sugar fasting a try. So let's get down and let's get right into it. We've got sugar fasting and we've got the sugar diet. Those two have clearly been defined for us at this point. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, pause the video, go on my channel and go back to the last video I posted. That's literally the title. Finish watching it and then come right back and you'll know what we're talking about. That being said, one of the most common comments I see is that a lot of people are stalled on the sugar diet, right? And there are a couple of reasons that I've noticed through my own trial and error, through other people posting, whether they're commenting or have their own channel, why they're also experiencing stalls or maybe even gaining weight in some cases. Okay. Now, if you just want the cheat code answer to fix the problem, it's sugar fasting. Okay. So for those of you that just want the quick cheat code answer, sugar fasting is what you need to do. That's it. Sugar fast off any kind of sugar source you want. Do that for 5 days, 10 days, 30 days, however long you want until you get a PBR, which is a personal best record for weight loss. I would say somewhere between 5 and 10 pounds. Go and refeed, and then just go right into a sugar fast again, and you're going to continue to get rapid results that way. Okay. Now keep in mind, when you do a refeed, if you're someone who has been on a sugar fast for, let's say, 5 to 10 days, and you've lost 5 pounds or 10 pounds, let's say 10 pounds, of course, sugar's too much for the phone, it's overheating. But let's say you have lost 10 pounds, and you have person A and person B, and person A does a refeed on lean meat and starch, and then person B does a refeed on 3 or 4 beers, a big pizza, or a super loaded down burger. They have some chips and queso. They have some cheesecake. Which person do you think is probably going to gain more weight back from the fasting days? If you said person B, then yes, ding, 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 you are correct. Now, expect after fasting days where you lose a drastic amount of weight, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever, when you go and refeed, don't be surprised if you put back half a pound, anywhere up to 3 pounds back on. That's okay. That's fine. That's normal. You're just going to get right back to the sugar fasting, okay? Boom, done, simple, easy, sweet, lather, rinse, repeat until you get the desired results. Now, time to kick into everyone who's doing the sugar diet method, okay? We talked about it yesterday. Do I think you should do both? Yes, 100%. I think you should mix in sugar dieting with sugar fasting. But there's some people who want to stick to just the sugar diet, and that's fine, but don't be afraid to try sugar fasting. Give it a try for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Okay? But anyway, without further ado, here are a couple of reasons why you are stalling on the sugar diet. The first one that always pops to my head because I experienced it myself. At night, when you're eating your lean protein or you're having your starch or you're mixing the two together, you're having too much of it. Point blank period. You're having too much of it. So if you're doing starch and lean protein at night, try to cut maybe the lean protein and just have starch. Or try to cut the starch and just have lean protein. Sprinkle in a little sugar there. Have some sugar with it. Give that a try. Give that a go. Obviously, you'll want to try it for more than just 1 day. I always say try to try it out for 3 days. That's a good length of time to be able to see what the scale is doing. And that should help fix those results, right? Remember, you're just having sugar throughout your day. and then you're refeeding at night, but try cutting that back. Or if you're having the starch and the lean meat, just try to cut back 25% or maybe 50% of it and see how that goes for you, okay? So that's one reason why you might be stalled sugar dieting. The other reason you might be stalled is going to be the salt. Come on, we've talked about this 10 million times. Just to give you an idea, before I really dove in deep to the sugar diet, back when I was 243 pounds, when Cole was first talking about this, he was saying get in sugar, but also get in your salts. Well, I went to the store, I bought one of those big tubs of Gatorade, okay? And with the powder, right? You all know what I'm talking about. And I would come home, and my jug, I would obviously put water in it. Then I would put half a scoop to a full scoop of the Gatorade, and then I would throw a scoop of sugar in there. And I did that for a couple of days. And what happened was I felt bloated, and I actually gained 2 pounds. So I went up to 245 pounds. The reason that's happening is because the salt is causing you to stall and hold in water, right? On the sugar diet, or while you're sugar fasting, you don't really need the salt. The only time you'll need the salt is if you're dropping a drastic amount of weight in a small amount of time, okay? And I'm talking about like in 3 days, you drop 5 pounds, 6 pounds, right? Then maybe try to get in some salt, just a little bit, and then get back to it. You don't need to overdo it on the salt. So that's another reason why you could be stalled. Another reason you could be stalling is that you need to really think about your level of activity, okay? And what do I mean by this? You have to figure out if you are someone who is completely sedentary or you're someone who's active. What would I define as sedentary? This is my definition. If you're someone who only works out once a week, or you only go for a walk once a week, and your typical day, 6 days out of the week, is you're getting up, you're going to work. At work, you sit down in a chair all day, and then you come back home and you sit down on the couch all day. You are a sedentary person, okay? And if that's the lifestyle you lead, then having starch and protein at night, doing the sugar diet, is not going to help you get great results. You're probably going to stall. You're probably going to put on weight, okay? What I would recommend is you have a couple options. Option number one, you can dial back the starch and the protein completely, okay? Just cut it, get rid of it, and then you're just doing straight sugar. Then what are you doing if you're doing straight sugar? You're sugar fasting. And then you can just refeed after you get a couple PBRs, personal best weight loss records, okay? 5 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever. Or you can change your level of activity, okay? If you're someone who still wants to have starch, or you want to still have protein, lean protein, remember, we're always keeping the fat rock bottom, trying to keep the protein pretty low as well, then you need to up your activity level, right? That means you need to be getting after it at least a minimum of 3, but really like 4 days out of the 7 days. And you could be a swimmer, you could be a biker, you could do jiu-jitsu classes, you could go to the gym and lift, you could be a jogger, you could be a runner, or you could simply be a walker like myself, okay? I do not miss a day when it comes to the walking. When I go for my walks, I am going for long, extended walks. What would I classify as a long walk? Maybe 800 steps. That takes the average person about 45 minutes to an hour to complete, and that works pretty well. I myself am doing 10,000 to 15,000 a day, and I do it after work like clockwork. That works for me. It fits in my lifestyle. I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm saying that is an option if you want to keep doing the sugar diet where you're ingesting starch and protein, lean protein, but you're stalled or you're not seeing results, okay? So those are the 3 big things that can help you get out of stall city, okay? Another thing you can do, all right, and I'm going to thank my friend Sugar Diet for this, okay? Go check her channel out once again. She's got the Kool-Aid Man as her logo. She's all up in the comments on my page, Cole's page. She's fantastic, posts really funny videos. She started out doing the sugar diet, but she would have fruit, right, with her diet and candy. And she got some great weight loss. But what I noticed when I was watching her in the beginning is once she got to about 222 pounds, she kind of stalled for several days, right? And what she did was she changed it up. She decided to swap out the candy and the actual physical fruit, the wet fruit, for just juice. So that means she's going to orange juice in the morning, for example. She's going to apple juice in the afternoon. And then at night, she has whatever kind of juice. She's just sticking to straight juice. And the weight loss ramped up. And that was maybe close to a month ago. And I know now she's lost like an extra 20 pounds on top of that. So think about that. If you're someone who's stalled, get rid of the candy, get rid of the actual physical fruit, and try juice throughout the day, okay? You could be like me. You could do lemonade, right? You could do soda pop if you want to. Just keep in mind, a lot of soda pop. You need to brush your teeth a lot. But try that. Try going breakfast, snacks, lunch, snacks with just juice. Just try straight juice. And then at night, you can get in some starch or get in some lean protein and see how that works for you. Okay? Because you all have to realize everyone's body is different and results will be different for different people. Now, if you're doing the sugar diet and you're not losing weight, I'm just going to tell you, it's because you're doing something wrong. Okay? Don't get upset. I'm just telling you the truth. You're doing something wrong. How do I know you're doing something wrong? Because myself and tons of people in the comments, there are far more people in the comment section on the different people who are doing videos about this, talking about their weight loss compared to people who are saying they're not losing weight. So that's why you got to tweak it. That's why you got to play around with it and figure out a formula that's working best for you. Now remember, if you want to cut the variables, think of it like a math problem, okay? The sugar diet is like having some algebra and having multiplication and having times tables in there to get results. Still very obtainable, still easy to do, but there's more variables in there. As to where sugar fasting, which is why the other half of this video was maybe you should try sugar fasting, that is just basic math, addition and subtraction, okay? It is 10 minus 20 gives you 10, right? 5 minus 10 gives you 5. That's what sugar fasting is. It's making it straightforward and as simple as possible, but I also understand doing it that way may not work for a lot of people, especially long term, which is why yesterday, if you were watching the video, I talked about doing both, which is what I'm going to do. So for me, what do I usually do on the sugar diet that has worked for me, that has allowed me to lose 16 pounds? I posted my before and after pictures to this point. If you haven't seen it, go to my page. You can check it out. But what I was doing is in the mornings, I was not having a gigantic sugar bomb. All right, I would wake up, I would take down 2 glasses of water, I would make my lemonade concoction out of this, and then I would nibble on a couple handfuls of fruit or some gummies. And that would hold me over for right at 2 hours. And then my little insides would start talking to me, and it would start saying, sugar punch, hey, top us off, buddy. We're a little hungry. Go get us a little something. So I'd go in the cabinet, and I would either have one of my fruit snacks, or I would have some fresh fruit, sprinkle some sugar over it, or I'd have a couple gummies. And then after I finished my big thing of lemonade, I would drink water. Remember, drink water, people. You still want to get water in. That's important. Make sure you're getting water in. Kind of my own rule of thumb is if I take down a pop or I take down a whole thing of this with my lemonade mixture, I like to take down the equal amount of water next before I go back to the sugar source. But that's just my own thing. That's what I like to do. Okay? And then what will I do? I'll go on about my day, and then I'll go whenever my sweet tooth, all right, my sweet tooth, as we call it, I call it my little intuition telling me, hey, you need some sugar. Go get it. I'll go top off and get a little bit more. A lot of people call it grazing, right? So that's what I'll go and do. And I'll just keep doing it that way, not overeating on it, right? Just eating enough to where I feel full and feel good to go for several more hours. And then I'll get to evening, and then I'll have some starch or a lean protein, or sometimes I'll have some sugar with it, and I'll have some starch, right? And that's my day. That's what I do. That's how I do it on the sugar diet. But when I'm doing sugar fasting, which is what I did the beginning of this week, from Sunday to Wednesday afternoon, that was just straight sugar, all right? I had a big smoothie in the morning, big smoothie in the evening. You can do that too. And if you want to snack in between the day, snack in between the day. Or if you want to have several sugar bombs throughout the day, have several sugar bombs throughout the day when you're doing the sugar fasting, okay? But I'm in the middle of moving right now. I have to be out of my place by tomorrow. So I'm going to go back home, finish packing. Then I got to do some packing and load a truck tomorrow. So the video I'll release is probably just going to be a short, simple, and sweet one. But I've got a couple goodbye dinners that I'm going to do. I'm having a goodbye dinner tonight, and then I have a goodbye dinner on Sunday. So what am I going to do? What have I been doing today? Well, I've just been grazing today. I've just been snacking very lightly and enjoying my lemonade and enjoying water for my meal tonight. And then tomorrow, while I'm moving, I don't have any kind of goodbye celebration type dinner planned. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to sugar fast for the 24 hours, okay? I'm just going to enjoy nothing but straight sugar. And then on Sunday, I'm going to sugar fast all the way until dinner. And then on Monday, I've got a nice long drive headed back home to Mississippi, where I'm from. I'm going to go spend 2 months there with my mom while my place is getting ready here back in Grapevine. And then I'm going to come back. But what I'm going to do when I hit that Monday, I'm going into a 5-day sugar fast protocol. And I would love for you to join me, okay? You don't have to, but you have to. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We're going to do it together. 5-day challenge, all right? Sugar fast for 5 days. We're going to get some crazy, sick weight loss results, all right? Now, that's all I got for today. As always, I appreciate you all. Hopefully you got some knowledge from this video. I'll catch you back on here soon. If you watched this far into the video, thank you. I appreciate you all as always. I know I have not commented back in my previous stuff yet. I've just been super busy with moving, but I promise you, I will find time probably during Sunday to get up in the comments and reach back out to you all and see how you're doing. But that being said, thanks for watching. Get that sugar punch up in you. All right. All the best.